Hey everyone, so today I am filming a video that I wanted to film for so long. I actually planned all of this out in June and just haven't gotten around to filming it, and I did some like soul searching and I was like, Gretchen, why are you putting this off? I knew this would be so helpful for so many of you in college, or at least just like if you're interested in my experience or just kind of like my college in review, like looking back on it now that I've graduated. But I realized I was putting it off for so long, like all summer, because I knew when I got to the end it would get really tough. Because if you guys know and have been with me for a while, you know that the end of my senior year was like the hardest time of my whole life that I've ever had to go through. I may cry discussing it because I wanted this video to be kind of like all-encompassing of my college experience and not just like only academics, but also I tried to touch on like mentally how I was doing, physically how I was doing, how my academics were, my relationships with people, that kind of thing. Just stuff that like stood out to me when I really like dug deep and tried to think about it. So basically what I did is right after I graduated, the beginning of June, I was on a plane, and I get really deep with myself on planes. Does that happen with anybody else? And I just went through like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, wrote down a lot of what happened, and just wanted to share it with you guys. So buckle in. I don't know how long this is going to take me. Sorry if I'm like reading off my phone at all, but I literally wrote so much on here. So yes. Also, this is like a new setup. It's like late, so I have my ring light, and yeah, just bear with me. And I wanted to put on a BU sweatshirt to be festive for this video, and I couldn't find my favorite like big cozy Boston University sweatshirt. All I could find is Max's BU hockey one, so yay, go BU. So let's just jump right into freshman year. So basically I wrote that I came to BU only with lightweight rowing in mind. If you guys didn't know, I actually only applied to Boston University and basically knew that I was coming for lightweight rowing. I was so like tunnel vision my senior year of high school. I always talked about that I didn't really think of college as like how you're supposed to, like for academics mainly, and kind of like the college experience and like what kind of campus you want to be at, how big the school is you want it to be, like what kind of stuff they have going on there that you're interested in, you know what I'm saying? Sorry if I'm like not making sense. But I basically only thought about lightweight rowing because that's just what I was so interested in, what I wanted to do. I only looked at schools for lightweight rowing, knew I wanted to come to BU. So that was like my top priority coming into freshman year. But obviously I changed so much over the past 4 years of my life, like way more than I ever thought I would. But I feel like people are scared of change, but like you should change. Like I feel like I've grown a lot, and I am just way more of like a mature person that knows myself way better now after college. And yeah, it was like my most favorite 4 years. Also tough, like highs and lows, but we'll get into it. So yes, I said my priorities obviously changed. I really do remember this. In the beginning of my freshman year, I remember feeling an overwhelming sense of independence. I was just like, whoa, like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I don't have to tell my parents like every single thing that I'm doing. Obviously still like keep tabs with them so they know what you're up to. But it was just so great that I was like, I can like go get ice cream if I want it, and I don't have to like tell my parents where I'm going or like ask for permission, or do you know what I mean? I just felt so independent, and I love that. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know that I was like missing out on being so independent, but I like loved feeling that way. So that was really fun. I was happy I explored biology because you guys know I came into BU as a bio major, and I was so happy that I did that because it was my most favorite thing all throughout high school. And I took AP bio, the whole thing, like I knew I wanted to be a dentist, and now I'm like, what was I thinking? But I'm so happy that I explored the bio major and took the bio classes to know that that isn't what I want to do, because I feel like that's just as helpful as knowing what you do want to do, knowing what you do want to do and like pursue in life. But finding out the things that you're not as interested in is also very helpful to be like, okay, well, even if I don't know, I know that I don't want to do that, if that makes sense. Yeah, I wrote that I never regret time that I spent on that because it really helped me get towards what I am really passionate about, which is business and specifically marketing, which you guys know I ended up in the business school, Customer School of Business at BU, and then I concentrated in marketing. Yeah, okay, I talked about my relationship. I was in a relationship from high school and we were making it work. I also don't regret this because I was in love. Yeah. And then I started talking about negative things. But yeah, if you guys know, I had a boyfriend. I was gonna say we were long distance. I guess in hindsight we weren't really long distance. We just went to schools like half an hour away from each other, so we didn't see each other that much. We were both like athletes. But I feel like people like regret ex-boyfriends and get all like heated about it and are like, oh, why did I date that boy or whatever. And I'm so like, no, like the me that was a freshman in college loved being in that relationship and everything was great and fine, and so I don't regret it at all. It was just like a different period of my life. So yeah, it was just such a different time. Then I talk about, you guys, if you didn't hear about the whole lightweight rowing thing, which I'm pretty sure everyone and their mother knows about it now because they made a video about it that kind of just blew up and went out of control. But you guys can go watch that lightweight rowing video on my channel and to hear about my whole experience, because I'm not going to talk about it that much here. But I did write, I was overworked, I was overtrained, overwhelmed, and just tired all the time. I didn't go out, I didn't meet many other people other than my athletic team. I was miserable and drained by the end of freshman spring. True, that's like so sad. I wish I could go back and like hug freshman Gretchen by her spring semester because she was really sad. Yeah, and then I said I considered transferring over the summer because I was so unhappy. I cried a lot and everything felt wrong. True, so I just feel like my freshman year, my priorities changed a lot, like I said. So I came in, rowing was like my obsession and I loved it and it was great and I had so much fun doing it in high school. And then obviously as freshman year went along, I felt like I was personally overtrained. I'm not going to talk about other people's experiences, but I mean, I'm sure anyone can relate to that if you're like a Division I athlete. It's just a lot, and I feel like I said in my video, it's like takes a very specific type of person to be able to keep up with that and do that, and that just like wasn't me. Just like being a bio major with like these chem and bio labs and trying to juggle YouTube along with the rowing and stuff, I was just so overwhelmed and it was so much, and I started to feel like I was missing out on everyone meeting each other freshman year and going out, and I wasn't doing any of that. I mean, I met my team and I felt so lucky that I had a bond like with my team from the beginning of freshman year, and I felt so lucky that I had a group of friends from the beginning, because I know most people struggle the most like freshman fall, just trying to find like where they fit in and their friends, and your friends change so much. But I was so lucky that I had that from the beginning and I knew like who I could count on and these close friends that I had made. But me personally, I was kind of like struggling on the inside. I was like, oh my god, I did not sleep enough, I was injured, I was just so unhappy. And obviously like my relationship was changing, going from being in high school to college, and just like your whole environment, everything changing. So yeah, like poor spring semester Gretchen was so unhappy and she cried all the time. I would always call her parents crying. I'm talking about her in third person, me. But yeah, I remember being so sad all summer, and I finally got the guts to switch things up my sophomore year, because I was like, this is like one of my biggest pieces of advice I feel like I could give someone going into college. I also, side note, all my friends are like going back to school right now, which is why I feel like this is kind of appropriate that I'm posting this right now, because everyone is going back right now or already has, and it's like the start of a new year. And I wish that I could just start my undergrad all over again, because I loved it so much and I had so much fun and I learned so much about the world, myself, people, like everything, and it was just the best time. But obviously I'm going to talk about like highs and lows. So yes, all right, sophomore year. I said, luckily I realized I didn't hate BU or Boston, I just hated rowing at BU. I feel like that's where a lot of my issues started, was just like being an athlete, like keeping me from doing other things and like not enjoying that anymore, I can't speak, when like something that brought me so much joy before just kind of turned into something that like wasn't anymore. And I rowed for 6 years, and I think that mentally, physically, I was just over it. So yes, I said in about a week's time I switched into the Equestrian School of Business, because I was like, bio ain't for me, sis. Quit lightweight rowing and broke up with my boyfriend all at the same time. So obviously that was like big time of change, but I just knew deep down everything that I needed to do and like what was right for me to just put my happiness first. Oh, and that's what I was gonna say, which I feel like I didn't even say. My biggest slice of advice for you guys is college is the time to be selfish. And I mean this in like a certain way, not like be selfish and be like a rude person, but I mean don't have a major that you feel like you have to have because everybody's pre-med. I feel like that was a thing coming into BU. I'm like, oh, like I have to be pre-med, all these people are pre-med, or like if I'm bio, I could like go to med school one day, or dental school in my case, whatever it was. Or obviously I know parents can like have a lot of impact on like what your major is and like pressure you a certain way, or if like your friends are all doing one thing. I just feel like college is time to be selfish in putting your happiness first. That's what I mean by being selfish. Like, do the things that make you happy and don't do the things that don't make you happy, as simple as it sounds. Because I just realized, like, I don't have to be doing these things that are making me miserable, and like I have a choice and I can fix it. And even if it means like quitting an athletic team, and that was something that was so hard for me, like just giving up on a commitment that I had made, and I like never really quit anything other times in my life, you know. So that was like a really hard thing for me, but I was like, I need to put myself first, and my happiness first, and my health and my well-being. And I was like, you know what, I don't need to be a bio major. I'm not like interested in this anymore. Like, business seems like it's for me. So just all the changes that I made were really like putting myself first, and I don't regret that at all. And yeah, I just feel like whenever I would look back and be like, oh, maybe I should have stayed a bio major, maybe I should have kept lightweight running, or like, why did I break up with my boyfriend? And I know, especially the boyfriend part, like everyone that's in relationships and has a breakup always like thinks back, and for a while it can be like messy, and I was so sad for so long about it. My dad would always tell me, he would be like, Gretchen, you can't, you know, think twice something that you decided in the past, because you in that moment decided that it was like the best thing for you, and why would you second guess yourself? Like, you know yourself best kind of thing. Like, don't second guess yourself is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So it was a big time of change, but I was so much happier. I had all this free time. I was taking classes that I really loved and that were like so interesting to me. I remember my intro business class, I was like, oh, this is the shit. Like, I just love this stuff. And I had more time to focus on YouTube. I remember I was finally able to start traveling a lot more with brands, and it was like the coolest opportunities, and I was just like, wow, I am so lucky and so blessed that I'm able to do this. And being on an athletic team, being in a more intense major, stuff like that was kind of, you know, holding me back and just giving me less free time, and I wasn't able to take part of all these like cool opportunities that were coming my way. So it was so nice that that was something I was able to do my sophomore year. And I said I was a lot more social. I met new friends. I was enjoying school. Oh, and then obviously in the spring, I'll talk about that. So yeah, I just feel like immediately having more free time, I was able to like meet the people on my floor and just like talk to people in class more, and like meet up with people outside of things in class, because I just had that free time. And then spring of my sophomore year, I joined a sorority, which most people rush their freshman year, I think, at BU. Yeah, in the spring. I like forget everything already, and I like just graduated. So I joined a year late, which I didn't even realize that it was like a year late, but I didn't even know about it my freshman year, because obviously I was so like just doing lightweight rowing. I never really knew about sororities, never thought that it was for me, and it was like one of the best decisions I made at BU, because I instantly went from knowing like this many people to like this many people, and I was recognizing people on campus, and I like knew people in my classes all of a sudden, and it was just so fun to like know way more people. And way more than that, you guys know I could talk about like sorority stuff all day long, but like the opportunities it gives you with like internships and networking and like stuff on that end with like academics, but also like socially, like you have this family and like this bond with all these girls that are all away from home, and they're like your family, and they're like your home away from home. And I met some of my bestest friends. Louisa, hi, I love you. And they'll be like my bridesmaids, and that's so mushy, and I feel like people in sororities always say that, but that was just the best for me to focus on, yeah, just my happiness and being social, and the part of me that I felt like I was like missing my freshman year. I said I realized I hated accounting and wanted it to be over with, LOL. Yeah, just throw in some academic stuff. I just realized that accounting was so not for me, and out of any of the courses at BU, even like the intro chemistry, which everyone fails and is so horrible, I don't think anything was worse than accounting. I know a lot of you can relate, like who is struggling through accounting right now, but yeah, that just wasn't for me, and I just really had to like crack down on accounting and keep up with it and study and the tutors and the whole deal, because I struggled. And if any of you are like a whiz at accounting, good for you. I don't know how you do it, man. Yeah. Poor Gretchen. Again, I want to go give her a hug. I said I explored other relationships, but I knew those weren't right as well. Obviously, I was meeting new people, like talking to new boys, and I just knew nothing was right. And I feel like that's a good lesson too. Like, don't settle, and you know what you deserve and the kind of guy you're looking for with certain attributes that you shouldn't have to settle on. Not like physically, you know what I mean, just like who they are as a person, and like if they're like driven, and I don't know. I'm not trying to get too into this, but I just knew they weren't right. And what I mean specifically is, I know during that time I never showed any boys like on my YouTube or shared them on social media in any way, because I knew they weren't right. So I'm happy that I did that and was, you know, careful and chose wisely, because now I have a boyfriend that I love so much, and I'm sure he will be my last. So, and then I said this whole year I dealt with heartbreak, which is never easy, especially since I was fully in love for the 3 years previous. Gosh, I was so sad. And I just feel like it takes so long to get over someone when you are in love with them. And I actually remember someone telling me it takes like twice as long to get over them as you were with them. And I'm like, okay, am I just gonna be really sad for the next 6 years? No. But yeah, I was really sad, and I feel like I just had to do like a lot of soul searching and working on myself to be like, no, like, you're okay and you don't need a boy. And I don't know, I feel like this is gonna be so deep, but I feel like by the end of that relationship, I was like, who am I anymore? Like, I didn't even know about myself. I like didn't really have confidence. Like, all my confidence was like coming from this one person and like their affirmation, which you really just need the love from yourself, not like the love from anybody else, if that makes sense. I'm like sweating. Gosh, this is getting long. I hope all of you have like your popcorn. But yeah, I dealt a lot with heartbreak, and I said love from close friends and new friends helped me the most during this time, and just getting out and doing things. Lucy and I would feed birds in a park, get our nails done, go get acai bowls, and just get out there. Yeah, both of us dealt with like sadness, and like in the beginning of college, I feel like that's very normal though. Like, a lot has changed, a lot's going on, and I just remember us like literally just getting ourselves out of bed and being like, okay, let's go like feed birds in the park, or like get our nails done, get acai bowls, like do something. And yeah, just being with friends and family during heartbreak is, I feel like, the best thing you can do to just feel like the community and support and love that you have all around you, and that you didn't need the relationship that you were in that you're so sad about. Alright, this is good. I said sophomore year is when I really got into SoulCycle, since I was no longer rowing. It was my new passion and way to get all my energy out. Focusing on myself my sophomore year was really important. Like I was saying, SoulCycle helped so much to just get like all my energy out. And I don't even think I wrote this in here, but I got really into yoga as well. I almost did like a yoga teacher training because I was so into it, and then I didn't because it was like the same dates as like sorority recruitment, lol. And now I just started doing yoga again, and I took all of like junior year, senior year off basically, but I knew that something was missing, and I feel like yoga just helps me like so mentally. So yoga and SoulCycle, just working out and like focusing on myself and being with my friends was like the best thing for me to do that year. And I feel like I just learned a lot about myself, and said how focusing on myself was really important. I was checking in with myself and being honest with how I felt. And then I wrote, prioritizing your happiness in college isn't selfish, it's smart. Okay, yeah, so wow, look at me. I'm so wise. So yeah, again, just another way of saying I was focusing on myself. I said it's a time to be selfish. Do what you're interested in, passionate about, and if someone in your life is in the way of your happiness, you should evaluate your relationship. I feel like that's a good thing that I wrote. Like, if you feel like someone is in the way of you, I don't know, switching your major, it's like your friend that's pressuring you, like, you should really think, okay, like, why is this happening this way? Like, have a conversation with them, that type of thing. That's like a random example, but you know what I mean? I feel like that can be applied to a lot. Sophomore year, Gretchen was cute. I said I grew a backbone my sophomore year, and I learned how to stick up for myself. This is important. Don't let anyone step all over you. I was fortunate enough to have amazing parents that raised me to be strong and recognize when I was being mistreated. Sometimes it's difficult if it's a boss, professor, coach, but I have confidence with time that everything works out. You'll succeed and get past hurdles of toxic people. And remember, karma's a bitch, and they'll get theirs. But no, honestly, I feel like it's all just so like internal. Like, I feel like I did a lot of soul searching my sophomore year. I feel like I keep talking about that, but no, I feel like I just started to realize like areas that, again, I didn't need to deal with, and that I could change and that I could fix. And I feel like that's just a good lesson for you guys. Okay, let's get past sophomore year emotional Gretchen, like getting through her stuff. Junior year, woo! Junior year of college was probably the hardest academically. True. I struggled with my grades during core, making a business plan with a team of 10 people for an entire semester. Yeah, that was my whole fall semester, and it was just like craziness. And if you've ever been in a team with 10 people, you know, but I never had before, and just being in a team with 10 people is like, whoa, there's so many moving parts and so many people to like coordinate, and communication becomes really important. And that was just, yeah, definitely the hardest academically, just like very challenging and took up a lot of time. I made it through, however, and had the support of my friends throughout it all. I love putting my friends in relationships first, since what really matters at the end of the day is the people you surround yourself with. And what I meant by relationships is like the relationship with my friends and my family, because I was single, I guess, all of sophomore and junior year, which deep down, if it was up to me, I would have like had a boyfriend the whole time, because I'm such like a lovey person, and like, you know, always I feel like really wanted a boyfriend, even though I'd be like, I don't need a man, I'm like so confident, I'm fine. But I didn't mean it. Like deep down I'd be like, are you my boyfriend? Are you my boyfriend? You know, type of thing. And I said pick and choose carefully, since the people you surround yourself with will be the ones with you through your ups and downs. Yeah. And then I say I would say I was okay with being single, but in reality, deep down, I miss having a boyfriend all this time and was looking everywhere, it seemed. I miss having a person that you share everything with and you could be yourself with. And also, the beginning of my junior year, Lucy was abroad, which I feel like was particularly hard, but I visited twice, and FaceTime made it easy as well. But yeah, I just feel like I was saying before, my sophomore and junior year, how important it was for me to be single. And I feel like if you're single right now in life, I feel like you're single when you're supposed to be single. And I'm sure some of you will be mad at me for saying that, but I swear when you're single, it's because it's like the world telling you that you need to work on yourself. And right, I swear, right, is you are like fully and completely like okay with yourself and confident and excited to be like single and working on you and doing your thing. That's when you find your partner in life, because that's exactly what happened to me both times I have had like serious boyfriends. One like the beginning of college, like forever ago, and then my one right now. When I talked about Lucy being abroad, this was my first time to visit Europe, which was pretty cool. And I said, P.S. go abroad if you're thinking about it in the slightest. You don't want to regret not going. And I didn't go abroad, if you guys didn't know. I know I had like the most extreme case of FOMO all of college, and just never wanted to feel like I was being, you know, left out of anything, or, you know, feel like I was missing out on anything. And so I didn't want to go abroad because I didn't want to like miss what was going on here in Boston at BU, like with my friends. But I don't regret it, because I do travel so much on my own and have traveled so much, and I know there's nothing quite like living in another country for like 3 months or however long. And again, I feel like if you're interested, you should. Like, so many people go abroad. Lucy absolutely loved it. It was in Paris for 3 months. But yeah, it was okay that I didn't go abroad, and I just like, could not fathom leaving my friends for like 3 months, and I was just so obsessed with Boston that I didn't need to go abroad. And like I said, I travel enough on my own. Then at the end of my junior year, Ozzy passed away, and it was really hard on our family. We miss him dearly and love him forever. Luckily, we still have our fluff ball Teddy at home, if you guys know my dog Teddy at home. But yeah, Ozzy was our big black Great Dane, and I miss him so much. And I remember the moment I was with my friend Sasha. We were in the elevator, and we were like going up to my apartment, and my dad called me and was like, oh, Ozzy passed away. He was 10 years old, and that's like as old as Great Danes get, which is so crazy because I like remember the day we got him. Like, life goes so quick once you hit a certain age. I feel like once you hit high school, it's like, then one day you like open your eyes and you're 30. I swear. Okay, I'm 22, I need to relax, but literally life goes by so quick. And yeah, that was really hard, especially because I wasn't home and I was at school. And if any of you ever lost a dog, you know, and it's just terrible and so sad. But then we have Teddy, and it's okay. All right, getting into my senior year. Wow, my senior year. That's so crazy because it was like this past year. I wrote, my senior year of college was by far the hardest, specifically the spring semester, for many, many reasons. A lot changed, and I mean like the most, like more than anything before in college. Like, I thought I went through like hard stuff before in college, like no. Yeah. From the top, I entered the fall finally confident with myself, like I was talking about. I truly, you guys, by the end of last summer, I was like working on myself all summer. I was with one of my best friends, Louisa. We were like getting really into working out, and I finally was actually okay with being single. Like, it took me 2 years. It really did, because like I said, I was always like secretly looking for a boyfriend, but I had the mindset. I remember like moving in to my off-campus apartment, and I was like, damn, I am so excited for senior year to just like kill senior year and get after it. And like, what I mean, kill senior year, what am I saying? Like do really well, like ace my classes, like kill my grades. I don't know what the phrase is. What is it called? Just do really well in school is what I mean. And really focus on myself in YouTube and like what life would look like after college, and yeah, just prioritizing myself in like every way, and like getting really into working out and eating healthy, and like I said, doing well in school, the whole thing. So that was like my main focus going into senior year, and I was just so excited to like do my thing, really spend time with my friends, my last year of college type of thing. And obviously that's, like I said before, when you meet someone and when that person comes into your life that is supposed to, because you're full on your own, so you can finally like be two full parts together. Like, what did I read before? Like, you should be like 200% together, because they're 100% on their own and you're 100% on your own. So together you're 200%. You can't be like two halves making a whole, because they can't like fill up what you're missing. Like, you have to like love yourself and like be your whole self before you can be with someone else. Everyone always says you have to love yourself before you can love someone else, and it's very true. I 100% agree, and I just know that's right because I've lived it throughout this life. So oh, this is cute. This is true too. See, what I was saying before was kind of like surface level, but deep down I wrote, I could barely admit it, but for all of college up until fall of my senior year, I doubted myself. I doubted how I looked. I doubted how other people saw me and thought of me, if I was good enough, and if anyone would like me enough again to want to date me, because I was worried because I was single for 2 years. If I ate too much, if I was skinny enough. It was awful. I suppressed these feelings for so long and finally dealt with them entering my second to last semester of college. So yeah, fall of my senior year, which is so true, because I finally was like, wow, I feel confident even though I'm not like a 00 anymore. Hi. Hi. You scared me. The door opening. Are you done playing Fortnite? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I think the last thing I was saying was it was okay that I wasn't a 00 anymore, and I was finally like feeling good with myself. I wanted to be a year focused on my education, cranking out the work to make sure I'd graduate on time, like I said before. A year of being with my friends, since I already told you how important friends are. That's the one thing you're going to take away from this. Friends are everything, and the people you surround yourself with. I said, and of course, right as you're comfortable being single and you actually stop looking for someone, you find the one. And I met Max in September of my senior year, of course, right as I was okay on my own and loving myself. The universe had a funny way of putting Max in my life right as I was truly ready for a relationship again, and I really feel like that happens, you guys. I now have my second and last serious relationship with someone who's so supportive, caring, mature, loving, smart. The list goes on, and I know that he's the love of my life. Wow. Ooh, getting emotional. All right, now we get to the hard stuff. Sorry if I'm gonna cry, but I'm sure talking about it will make me cry, and if it doesn't, wow, I'm shocked. Okay. So yeah, two hard things, like quite hard things, stick out to me in the spring of this past year, my senior year. But one, obviously, like heartbreaking, earth-shattering type of sadness, which you guys already know if you know me. So February 16th this year, I fell skiing and tore my ACL. I was really down about it for a while, since I thought it was the end of the world. It wasn't. And it's a long recovery and a lot of hard work, but I know God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, or something like that. I had Acl Reconstruction Surgery on March 6th this year, and it was also one of the hardest things I've gone through. I did make, oh, this is funny. I said I'll make a separate video about this soon if you're interested in more. I already did make that video, so go watch if you just tore your ACL or getting surgery or dealing with that, because I hope that it's helpful, and I tried to make it helpful for you guys, because now I am, wow, almost, wait, March, April, May, June, I'm almost 6 months post-op, which is insane to me, because I remember falling like it was yesterday. It honestly flies by. I thought it was gonna be the worst thing ever. Like I said, it wasn't. So But this surgery at this time I'm extremely grateful for, which I know sounds weird, but let me tell you why. I spent a week post-op laying on the couch at home with my dad by my side the entire time. Whew, the tears are coming, I feel them. Little did I know that it would be the last time I spent with him. And see, like I was saying before, I feel like the world works in mysterious ways, and I don't think that this uninterrupted week with my dad was on accident. Like, I swear, you guys, it's so crazy, because when you go away to college for 4 years, obviously you see your parents less and less, and you're not spending like big chunks of time with them like you did in high school. Like, you're not living there anymore. So I feel like me falling and tearing my ACL was what I thought was the worst thing ever. It really wasn't, and gave me a full week of like hanging out with my dad and like my last week with him. Whew. I gotta compose myself so I can finish this video. I said, oh yeah, and school was definitely on the back burner. If you couldn't tell. But yeah, just like dealing with, I mean, obviously all these doctor's visits and my surgery and like follow-ups and like the whole grueling recovery. School was on the back burner. I said I'm still extremely grateful to my professors and Dean of Equestrian from this past spring for being so accommodating with me and my situation. And the really hard stuff, which I'm sure you could tell, is when my dad passed away from a sudden illness on March 25th, my world was literally turned upside down. He was my bestest friend. I wrote in a way, whew, see, none of this gets easier. This is what people tell me, never gets easier. You get better at dealing with it. I wrote, in a way, my world still is upside down. I don't think it ever gets easier losing a parent. I really don't know how to exist in a world that my dad doesn't. Me and Lucy always talk about that. We're like, everything we know and everything we do and like everything that we are and we believe is like because of him. Like, we don't know what life is without him, but we're learning. So I said, but all I can do is the best that I can, which I've been trying to do since March. Not having my dad at my college graduation and cheering for me was extremely difficult. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm sure, as you can imagine, because that happened, I mean, like less than a month and a half before my college graduation, and that's like all I could think about, sitting in that chair waiting to go get my diploma. I really hope my mascara is not down my face right now. And yeah, I had to be really strong that day. That was tough. I wrote, it's all he talked about for so long, and he actually had a countdown for years in his phone for May 15th of 2019 this year. He was obsessed with his countdown app on his phone, and he would count down for like all of our birthdays, or you would count from all of the days that we were born, and he'd be like, happy, you know, whatever 1000th day of being alive, and it was just like so fun. And yeah, that was tough. I remember like just looking at his phone after and just being like, I just still feel like I'm sort of in shock. Like, obviously it happened like, I mean, a while ago now, like many months, and it feels like it was yesterday. But yeah, I just remember like being on his phone, and like I found a note, and it was titled like places girlies have been, and it was like all the countries and cities that Lucy and I have been to, and just like talk about the most supportive, caring father, best friend, like figure in anyone's life. I can't. And although it's been the most painful time of my life, I know my dad is watching from heaven. That was funny. I thought that maybe I couldn't cry and then I wouldn't. Sorry. I said, I know my dad, I said that. I know how proud he is of Lucy and I for graduating college and just being the women we are today. Yeah, I wrote, I'm crying writing this on a plane right now, and that I pray for my dad, my mom, my sister, my whole family since, oh, this is cute of me, since I wrote this on a plane. Hi. I wrote, I always like praying on planes since I'm in the sky, and I feel like I'm closer to God. You know that I do that? Did I tell you that? you guys, I knew this would get emotional, but not this much, but I felt like obviously I had to talk about it as a part of my college experience because things are gonna happen in college, like a lot changes, you know? You can find wonderful friends and boyfriends that are your family and your support system. So yeah, I just knew that that was important for me to talk/cry about because a lot will happen when you go to college, and a lot of you that have been to college watching this know that. Obviously you could lose like a family member at any time in your life, and it being the end of my college career is obviously just like when it happened. But yeah, so that I just had to talk about my experience at the end of my senior year of college because that's just what was true for me and what happened. Yeah, so I can make a separate video on what I learned in my 4 years of college, but this is just kind of like my overall recap, like I said, and I can say specifically like talk more about like classes if you're interested, or like academically, or like life lessons, or like really what I feel like I learned at Boston University, because this is kind of just like me and my experience and like what happened. I wrote, I'm a completely different person walking out of BU than when I walked in. Literally, you just like live so much life, I feel like, in college, and are in so many new experiences, and like I met so many people that I never would have met, like people that I never would have met that came from all over the world, and just like learning about their cultures and where they came from and their language, and like it was just so insane. And I feel honestly so blessed that I could go to like such a big university that's like a melting pot, because people came from all over, and it was so cool to like sit next to someone who like grew up in Egypt in like one of my econ classes, or do you know what I mean? Like it was really so cool. And I said, now I have different priorities, new people in my life. I did a whole lot of growing up and maturing and adulting, and I really did learn more in these 4 years than I ever thought I could or that I would. Wow, sorry for being emotional at the end of this, but I'm sure if any of you have a Boston parent, you know why. And even if you haven't, I know you can understand why I'd be emotional. So yes, good thing that was at the end of this video. I was crying the whole time. And yeah, I just wanted to be like really real and honest in this video, as you can tell, and just talk about my past 4 years of life at BU, and like what college was like for me. I feel like it's hard to even sum up the entire 4 years together, because I could make, you know, a hour-long video about one semester, because so much happens and you learn so much and go through so much. But I kind of just had the big points sticking out to me, and I'm sure I missed some, which would probably like look bad if I missed like really big life events or something. But yeah, those are the things that just stuck out to me that I wanted to share with you guys. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.